Hello and welcome to Let's Ride with Stonewolf. There we go, that sounds much better. I almost didn't bother recording. I almost just gave up on today and said I'm not going to record today. Because I got into Glossop and discovered that my GoPro had shut itself off at the 1 hour 30 mark. 1 hour 30. So that's like a chunk of the last episode where I've only got half of it. But I started out the last episode by saying, it feels weird to start out with welcome to Let's Ride and nothing after it. I've gotten so used editing to hearing around Europe that it feels weird. I didn't want to put Energica because I actually only put Energica in the title for the clicks. It's not really the name of the series. But nevertheless, here we are in Glossop. I'm going to persevere. Just going to write the last episode off because, sad face. But it is really annoying. I'm sick and tired of having to work around GoPros and their idiotic restrictions. But at the same time, I'm still not entirely sure what I want to do with this channel, whether I want to continue making videos. I only get something like 20-ish views per video anyway, which is not very much. I don't make any money off it. Not that that's the reason why I do it, but if I'm gonna spend money on it, that is something you have to consider. I don't know if that I want to continue doing it. It's why I'm gonna drop down to one a week for a while, just so I can have a less full editing schedule and do other stuff. Because it is kind of this effort that I'm putting into it, and I'm not really feeling there's a whole lot of return, even though I enjoy doing this. What I might do is not really worry much about keeping up a regular schedule and just record things when I record them and just let that be it. Yeah, GoPros, eh? Usually I expect maybe 145. And I'm it's beyond 145. I'm not really going to be able to record any more than that. But 130? Jeez. And after it dying in Austria as well. They do also get hot when they've been recording for a while, especially when the weather is hot. And then they just stop. And they don't record when they're plugged in. And they're not waterproof when they're plugged in. And you have to buy a special thing to plug in an external mic. And all of this stuff, they're just so bad. But also, I don't want to put money into stuff that's purely just for the channel when I don't really know what I'm doing with the channel. I'm tempted to get a 360 cam for a big project that I want to do in summer, but that project's already kind of expensive. But at the same time, I don't really want to record that project with a GoPro because just don't want to mess around with batteries. It's really annoying, you know? And it's one of those things that makes you like question doing this. You know, when like when it gets in the way of just being out and enjoying yourself, you know? Yeah. So we're heading south from Glossop. We're heading towards Buxton. This is like the high peak. Although it is kind of like on one side of the peaks, as it were. It's a Himalayan. And what did I talk about during the episode that got lost? I think it was, I was talking about turning 40. Because that's the thing that happened. I turned 40 in December. And yeah, you know, it's a big scary number, but you know, it's not so bad. I don't feel too bad about it. It does make you think about things a whole bunch. Like it's a thing that you get a bit philosophical about. You look at your life and you're like, you know, this is a bit different from a lot of people's 40s. I guess this is where midlife crises begin to start. I'm not really feeling like I'm gonna have one of those, but it is kind of odd, like turning 40 as a single person. Because I had a breakup in 2019, and with the pandemic and everything, I just like I really struggled to like get out there and stuff. But yeah, like it is weird turning 40 and being single, and you're just like thinking about the future and like growing old as a single person is like weird. And especially because like, you know, if you want to date someone who feels like a peer, they're all in long-term relationships. And like a lot of my peers, partially because I'm a furry, but like a lot of my peers are significantly younger than me. Like a lot of the people I hang out with are like in their late 20s. Like one of my friends turned 30, and like I hang out with him a lot before the pandemic. And now he's reasonably close. I could go and visit him, and it's just like even he. Like he's in his 30s now. He's still 10 years younger than me. And I have like a bunch of friends who are Zoomers. Well, there's a whole Zoomer meme thing, which is just some really wild stuff. And I'm like, I don't understand this. Like Zoomer memes are the things like where I'm like, am I old now? You know? Because they're all like Zoomer memeing, and I'm like, huh? What? I don't understand this. It is disturbing to me. And the funny thing is, like, it's not like I turned 40 and pow, I'm old, right? This is stuff that creeps up on you kind of over time. And it's just the fact that like I have turned 40 and hit like this significant number, you know, that's made me think about it. Yeah, it's made it a philosophical thing. It's just kind of odd. I don't know, it's hard to describe. Even though I've done a video where I have already talked to it, like talked about it, like it's a bit weird. Like it kind of makes you think about things in a way that you haven't thought about things maybe before. But on the whole, I feel pretty good about it. Because I'm not doing too bad. I mean, I don't look that old. Well, I'm going quite grey now. But I don't look too bad. I'm in good health. I'm quite fit. Certainly in terms of like my peers, I'm fitter than a lot of them, which is disturbing because they are significantly younger than me. I have not yet lost the Battle of the Bulge, although that war is certainly raging. And you know, I have managed to buy a house. I've managed to buy a house. I have a career with seniority and all this stuff. So yeah, I'm not doing too bad. And actually, in terms of fitness, like I have for years, I love this bit. There's like a Y with its own viaducts and stuff. It's really cool. But yeah, like I've struggled on and off over the years with fitness. It's like sometimes I'm doing really good, sometimes I'm doing really bad, sometimes like I just really struggle. Oh yeah, this bit. Normally Google takes me onto that jeweler. I'm gonna see if I can find the other way, which is through the middle of this little town. We're going this way. It's a tiny stretch of jeweler. I just don't want to take it. Not while I'm recording anyway. I don't really mind outside of that. But jeweler's is just kind of boring. And maybe, you know, you are a foreign viewer and you want to see a little bit of British towns. Especially like here in the peaks where they tend to build things out of stone more than brick. It has like a bit of a different character. As you can see, people don't really paint their houses here. You get a few obviously, but it's mainly just finished stone and finished brick. I don't really like the brick, to be honest. I think I've said this over and over again. I don't really like the brick. Probably this is the way to Buxton. Yeah, there you go. It's a little British town. Yeah. I have often struggled with fitness because sometimes I'm doing really well and sometimes I'm just not, and when I'm not I eat, and when I eat I put on weight. I'm sure this is a story that resonates with many people. But yeah, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. At the moment, it's good. Over winter, it was bad. I just lost all routine. I was barely doing anything. Ate way too much. Got up to like 80 kilos, which is quite heavy for me. Normally I've been around like 70, 75. So that's like 5 kilos that I just put on in like December and January. And February, I guess. It's like 3 months. I'd like to contrast that. In November at 39, I set a new personal best 5k. So, you know. Oh my god, just do something. So in November, like, I was doing really well, and then just December, January, February, like, no. Yeah, for the whole of March, I had been dieting and try to like re-establish my routine, build it back up. Like even in November, I was doing like maybe 3 runs a week. It's just like, it's just whatever I could manage. But yeah, sort of for the last 4 weeks I've been trying to do some serious like sorting out of things, and yeah, it's going pretty good. I'm down to like just over 76 kilos from 80, and I've managed to get my cardio regime like really well established. My 5 5Ks and my 5 1K swims per week. I basically go for a 5K run and a 1K swim every weekday. It's mixed in as like part of my work, which is, you know, the best way to do it in my experience. Just like make it part of my routine. And in April, I'm gonna start trying to add some weight sessions in. You know, started with the cut, and then I get back into like doing a bit of strength training. But you know, on the whole, like, I mean, I have kind of like a bad relationship with my body image. So like when I put on a few kilos, I'm like, oh my god, this is terrible. I look awful. I'm a potato. And nobody notices. You know? Nobody else notices. But I feel really bad about it. And then I start doing something about it and I feel really good. And I keep that up for like a couple of months. And then I'm like, oh, I'm tired of doing all of this work. And then I stop. And then I feel bad about myself. And I just go in these cycles. So like, much as I don't feel great about it a month ago, like, I'm not really that bad in terms of fitness as a 40-year-old. Certainly, like, there are 30-something guys who are just like, oh, but I'm 30 now and nothing works and I'm too old and I creak and all this stuff. I'm just like, what have you done to yourself? You know? Like, how have you let your body get into this condition? And half of it's psychological. It's just like they're not willing to do it, and it's an excuse. You know. But I'm feeling pretty good about myself turning 40. It is a bit weird, given like my social situation. But on the whole, yeah, you know, it's no big deal. And to be honest, I know I can feel my body slowing down a little bit, for sure. The all-nighters are harder. Not that I do very many of them, but like, you know, I do go to cons. Cons are pretty strenuous, funnily enough. You get maybe like 5 or 6 hours of sleep, and you're out clubbing and all this kind of stuff. But you still want to get up in the morning. Like I can feel it a lot more now. But I mean, again, this isn't just like, oh, I turned 40, suddenly everything is bad. No, it's just like it's been creeping up a bit over time. Like, I do feel that a bit, but it's not nowhere near as bad as people like claim it is. I'm sure in a few years' time, you know, maybe as my body does slow down, I will begin to feel like I'm no longer able to do some of the things that I do. But for now, I'm able to just enjoy myself. And that's pretty cool. 40 is, it's not the end of the world. And I'm still not old enough to retire onto an adventure bike. Anyway, this is Buxton, which is a nice town nestled in the peaks. And is also where we will be ending this episode today. So, if you've got anything to say, I welcome your comments in the section below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and check out some of my other videos, which you might also like. And if you do, consider subscribing, and hit the bell if you do. So that you can be notified that I have videos put out, because apparently nobody uses the subscriptions tab anymore. And yeah, if you would like to reward me for entertaining you today, you can find my coffee link in the description below. Bye bye.